Fort Golf Club is owned and operated by the City of Murfreesboro. It was opened in August of 1985. A major renovation took place in 2003, which addressed many different issues, one being improving the course for golfers themselves. Tracy Wilkins, Director of Golf for the City of Murfreesboro, came on board in January 1987. He talks about why location sets Old Fort Golf Club aside from any other local course.
We're only a mile from the square, we're only a mile and a half or so from the interstate, so getting here is quite easy. But at the same time, we're set in a horseshoe bend of the Stones River, so once you're here, there's a lot of the golf course that you really feel like the town is nowhere nearby. Now there's a couple of holes that run over by the mall and Highway 96 that obviously you get a little bit of traffic or whatever, but the setting here is pretty neat. As far as that country type of setting or secluded type of setting, but at the same time being very convenient, very close to town, very close to the interstate, very accessible.
Marty McCurry, head golf professional at Old Fort Golf Club, has been with the golf course since March of 1990. He deals with the day-to-day operations of the course and speaks on what makes Old Fort Golf Club special.
One of the biggest assets I think that the City of Murfreesboro has here with Old Fort is the quality of turf condition and the quality of layout of the golf course. It's hard to find a course of this stature located right in the city. Our superintendent, Joel Beckham, always does a great job, he and his staff, of keeping the course in great condition. And basically the golf course kind of speaks for itself as far as the playing experience goes.
The number one thing that at the golf course that we're really concerned about is the greens. Basically, everybody knows that if the greens are in good shape, that our plays can stay in good shape. We really put a lot of emphasis on it. That's our number one money spent, is to maintain the greens. And that's usually where your reputation is built or it falls from. We're on number 18 green. The greens are Crenshaw bent grass. We spend many man hours with mowing them. We do a lot of hand syringing. When you see my guys out on the golf course and they are out there with water hoses, is to cool a green off. The grass is just like you are. When it gets hot, it has to have water on it to be able to cool it down. We also have a weekly spray program that we come in and we're feeding the greens with nutrients or fungicides. We also top dress the greens lightly with sand every week. Every day we change the cups on the golf course and try to give a golfer a different angle to play the golf course from, with the flags being in 6 different zones. Also, some of our main issues that we find that are difficult to deal with is that we do have a lot of ball marks.
One of the things that I would like to ask all of our golfers to do for us is to help us out with ball marks. It's one of the major issues at all golf courses, and it's something that the golfer needs to help with more so than we can, because each day, although we do go out and try to fix ball marks each morning, after the fact that they've been there for 24 hours, it kind of makes it hard for those to heal. What we're trying to do and what you all want is great, consistent putting surfaces. And the more that we can fix ball marks, the easier it makes our job as far as keeping the greens good and smooth for you. So I'm going to go with you today and show you how to properly fix a ball mark, and if you can help us with that, it would be of a great assistance. As you can see here, this is a fresh ball mark. If it's fixed properly, it will heal itself within 24 hours. If it's not fixed at all, or if it's fixed improperly, it can take up to a week before it's healed. A lot of mistakes are people that don't find their ball mark, or that if they do, they tend to put the ball repair tool down and pull up the middle of the ball mark, which usually just pulls the dirt up, and then you have a smooth spot, but it's a dirt spot. What you want to do actually is put about an inch away from the ball mark, stick the ball repair in, and pull towards the center of the ball mark, and go all the way around. Don't twist, just push it in and lift towards the middle. And as you do that, you can take your putter or your foot, and then you can just tap it down like this. And as you'll notice when we get through, You can't even see where the ball mark was. This is an example of repairing one improperly. Sometimes your ball, when it makes a ball mark, it will tear out a tuft of grass that will usually be somewhere around the ball mark. What we would ask you to do, you never want to put this piece of torn grass back into the hole. It will not grow back, and more than likely the mower in the morning when it mows is going to grab it and flip it out anyway, and now you're left with a fresh hole. If you would again take it out or don't put it back, then pull in from all sides, and you can see how just by doing that, what was a big hole that somebody may have thought they had done us a favor with actually created another problem. And in so doing, we've reduced that ball mark in half at least.
Old Fort Golf Club has very active leagues with wide ranges of ages and abilities, from individual to team, multiple formats, and even tournaments, something for everybody.
We currently offer 3 leagues here at Old Fort Golf Course. We have an Old Fort Men's Golf Association. It's actually a monthly tournament league that plays once a month, starting in February, running through November. Good group of guys. Anybody's welcome to join. You have to be 18 or over to play in that. But it's a lot of good competition and a lot of good fun. Every Wednesday we do a senior league for people 55 and over. That league is an 18-hole, once-a-week league. You have to sign up on Tuesdays prior. All you have to do basically is call in and put your name on the list, show up and play on Wednesday morning, and a lot of fun. Our ladies league plays every Tuesday morning. It's a vast array of skill levels as far as that goes, so you don't have to be a scratch golfer to play in any of our leagues. We have a big group of handicap levels that play in all of our leagues.
As the saying goes, you're only as good as your staff. And that's true for Old Fort Golf Club as well. Teamwork is their goal, where every position on the course is important to help enhance the golfer's experience.
I've been very fortunate to have an outstanding staff, and when it comes to customer service and trying to meet the customer's needs, and at the same time the staff that takes and maintains the care of the golf course, with being able to try to maintain 175 to 200 acres with 200 people a day on it, and trying to work around them and not disturb them any more than you have to, but at the same time mowing all the different grasses at the different heights and making it enjoyable for them to play. So very fortunate to have an outstanding staff.
On a typical work week for a maintenance staff is that from the months of March all the way through October, we will mow fairways 3 times a week. We maintain greens every day of the week. We're going to mow greens. We also mow our tee tops 3 days a week, and we mow green surrounds and roughs usually 2 to 3 times a week. We prioritize everything and work from the greens out throughout the rest of the golf course.
Penalty areas are also an important part of a challenging golf course. Sand traps or bunkers for the maintenance department can be one of the toughest areas of the golf course to maintain. Joel explains why.
We're here at number 18 bunker next to the green. They have to be edged. The slopes on them are sort of steep, and we have to go in and we use the hovering mower, and we take the mower and we go in and we maintain the edges with that. When a golfer's playing a round of golf, you want them to be able to define what is actually a bunker and what is actually turf that's outside the bunker. It is a area of the golf course that's supposed to be penal for hitting your ball into it, and it's not always supposed to be the perfect conditions for someone to be able to hit a shot out of.
Old Fort Golf Club's clubhouse was renovated in 1997. With the guidance of the Golf Commission and the City Council, the facility, which was a log cabin, doubled in size.
We now have a full-service golf shop. We have a full-service snack bar, and our prices are very competitive. We offer a great deal for all of our customers. A lot of people think right off the bat when they're looking at a golf shop that basically it's going to be expensive. It's going to be more expensive than some of the outlet stores.
And we try to be very competitive in all areas, not only with our green fees and the cart fees, things that people have to pay to be able to play the game, but one of the areas that we try to be the most competitive probably is in pricing with our products inside in the golf shop. None of us are on commission. It's just part of the job that we do. And I like that in a way that we are able to provide all of our products at the lowest possible price that we're able to sell it just about all the time. If it's a current type of product, we're usually not beaten on price at all. If they can buy the best products at the lowest price here and we can provide that and it also saves for the customer, then that's what we want to try to provide also. We have a professional staff that stays up on all the current models and different things. We also have professional club fitting. If you purchase the clubs here, the fitting is part of the price of the club. Or if you just want to come in and get fit to see if your clubs match, or if you're going to purchase something somewhere else, then there is a fee for that fitting. It really makes no sense not to do that if you're looking at purchasing golf clubs. One of the things that goes along with club fitting is we have a launch monitor that we're able to use that the golf course has, and we're able to use it in driver fittings and also iron fittings and different things. And being able to see those numbers and how they fall out differently for each person and how golf clubs perform, not only the shafts, but the spin rates of the balls and the launch angles, things like that, we're able to provide that also. And through all of that, at the end, once you get your equipment and things you get set up, and anybody that may want to improve their game, we do have professional staff here that gives instruction if that's needed by any of the customers also.
We also carry some novelty items that people probably wouldn't realize we have. We carry all the latest GPS devices. That's very popular now in golf from SkyCaddy, and we have a new company called UPro that we carry that does a 3D generated satellite view of the golf course, which is pretty neat as well. We carry Bushnell GPS pin seeker devices that are very beneficial and help pace of play as well as make the golf experience more enjoyable to the player.
Old Fort Golf Club's #1 goal is the golfer to enjoy their experience. Director of Golf, Tracy Wilkins, goes through each hole to give you some tips to help you master the course.
Start out with hole #1. It is one of the most difficult starting holes probably that you'll find anywhere, in the fact that it has a water hazard on the right, it has out of bounds on the left, has a pretty big deep bunker in front of the green. I would suggest not pulling your driver out of the bag. Pull something out that you feel comfortable that you can put it in the fairway with, even if it leaves a longer shot in. As we head into #2 is one of our easier holes, unless you try to bite off more than you can chew on your second shot when you start trying to cut across the hazards or the bunkers that are in the corner of the dog leg. If you miss, there is a penalty to pay, but if you decide to play it the way it's designed, straight down the fairway on your second shot, it opens up quite nicely with no bunkers or anything in front of you. One of the things as we get into #3, which is our first par 3, is a lot of our players tend to hit to the right and roll off the side of the green there, and they think they've hit too much club and gone over the green, and in reality they're just in the center of the green, but they've just missed it a little bit to the right. The way that green sets in there at a diagonal, it's very easy to be centered on the green but miss it right or left, just the way it sets in there. We'll move on to #4, which is a short par 4. You can hit anything from a mid to a long iron off the tee and avoid all the bunkers. Or if you want to take a little bit of a risk, you can go and pull the driver out and try to drive it over all those bunkers and up close to the green. Very playable short hole that hopefully you can make a birdie on, but if you're not careful, you can make bogey there also. As we head into hole #5, it is one of our longer, tougher par 5 because the fairway has got some elevation to it. It's got a little angle to it. The green sets up. It's got a really deep bunker in front. And a bogey on this hole is really not a bad score for the average golfer. Hole #6 is a par 5. It's just a medium length par 5. It's straight away. Everything's in front of you. You do have a hazard to the left, but the fairway kind of angles on your second shot, leaning from right to left. And if you can learn to hit your ball either short or a little bit longer, makes it a little bit easier as opposed to being on that side hill of that fairway. Hole #7 from the tee, unless you're playing from way up short, you better hit a fairly solid tee shot to be able to get the ball in play and in the fairway. And then from that point, the hole's not over because you're hitting into a very elevated green. And if you miss that, it leaves a pretty tough pitch shot up to that green because it is really elevated. Hole number 8 is our second par 3 on the front and has 2 bunkers that set in on the front left. If you find yourself not being able to hit the green, there's plenty of room right, there's plenty of room long, and there's plenty of room short, because if you find yourself in one of those bunkers, you're going to find par is difficult to make. Number 9 is another one of our short holes. The fairway angles to the left, and again, to the left you have the Stones River. Also, there's some high grass to the right of those bunkers. If you try to carry all those bunkers and you don't hit it very accurately in the fairway, it's suggested there that you play a long iron or fairway wood off the tee short of the bunkers, and it leaves a short iron into a large green. Hole number 10 is a par 5. We do have hazard running down the left-hand side, but you also have the range, which is out of bounds, over on the right-hand side. A lot of times here it would be suggested that you don't really need a driver. It's not a very difficult hole if you can get your tee shot in the fairway. Hole number 11, it is very much a risk-reward hole, but if you do decide to cut off some across the lake, which most people do, at least for a time or two till they figure out it's further across there than they think. And the fact if you do hit across the water, a lot of times you didn't gain a whole lot if you'd just played the hole the way it was designed and hit that long iron or fairway wood off the tee and a short iron in. Number 12 is also back in that area of the golf course where it's just really beautiful. It is a medium-sized par 3. It plays a little bit uphill. It has the deepest bunker on the golf course. If you're ever going to avoid one, that's the one to avoid. Number 13, it's just a straightaway par 4. Everything's right in front of you. You can't actually take the driver out there, let her rip, and if you happen to miss it a little bit left or right, you still should have a shot towards that green. If you do miss it way left, again, the Stones River runs up the left side, and if you're ever going to let one go, that's the place to do it. Hole number 14 is our last par 5 on the golf course. It is a great golf hole. A driver off the tee, lay up on your second shot with a long iron or a short fairway wood, and it leaves, again, a short iron into a very large green. If you miss it right or left on your second shot, we have a lot of rock outcroppings in that area, both left and right. Strategy is great for hole number 14. Be smart. Hole number 15, again, is another hole that you can kind of let go a little bit. As you get further off the tee, the fairway actually opens up a little bit more. It does have some trees on both the right and the left that people can get into, but second shot tends to play longer than people think. It's a touch uphill. Most people tend to come up short on 15, and there's a bunker there, so my suggestion there would be hit one more club. Hole number 16 is a great par 4, one of our best on the golf course, if not the best. It's a long straightaway par 4. It's got a hazard on your right-hand side. It's got a fairway bunker on your left-hand side. Suggestion there is to play a shot off the tee with whatever you need that doesn't get you to that fairway bunker. It does leave you a long second shot, but a long second shot out of the fairway is much easier than a shorter shot out of that hazard or that bunker. Hole number 17 is our last 3 par on the golf course. Medium length, short par 3. Little pot bunker in front. If you miss-hit it and leave it short, you can get in that, and you can get in the creek short and to the right, but not a very difficult hole. Hole number 18 is an outstanding finishing hole. A couple fairway bunkers, one in particular, the smallest bunker on the golf course, right in the middle of the fairway. Very important that you hit the ball in the fairway on 18. You do have out of bounds to the right, but you have more than enough room to the left. Long left and right is not too bad of a pitch shot up to the green, but anything short, again, is caught by a bunker. Very difficult to get up and down out of that bunker.
If your company would like to have a corporate event for clients and employees, or you would like to put on a golf tournament for a fundraiser, Old Fort Golf Club is there to serve whatever need the customer has.
We do corporate events. We also do fundraisers. We have a large pavilion area that's able to house quite a few people for after the round fairs as far as eating and those type things go. We have groups up from 40 players all the way up to 140 players. So we're able to accommodate a really large group of people. We do start booking those January of each year. They do fill up pretty fast. You know, being a publicly owned golf course. We obviously don't fill up every day with an outing so we can give our citizens a chance to play golf, but we do welcome outings and love to have corporate events here. If you're interested in setting up a golf outing, a tournament, or participating in one of our leagues or associations, also if you're interested in golf instruction, we offer golf instruction. You're free to call me at any time. Here at the golf shop, it's 896-2448. Also, I have email. It's mmccurry@murfreesborotn.gov. Love to hear from you.
During the winter months, the traffic on the golf course decreases, but that doesn't mean the maintenance department slows down. Joel talks about preparations made in the off-season to prepare for spring.
We go into our projects at that time of year. We really concentrate on looking at doing drainage projects where we've had issues with holes that are having water built up into areas that are stopping us from being able to get golfers out earlier and let them be able to take their golf carts out on the fairways a little bit earlier too. I have a mechanic that is on staff. His main responsibility is to go through equipment, and he maintains it all year round. But during the winter, we go through, we grind all the reels, we rebuild all the units. But the city's been very good to allow us to spend money to well equip him and try to hire as qualified a person as we can.
Old Fort Golf Club's goal is to try and accommodate all levels of play so that golfers feel challenged whether they're professional or new to the sport. Tracy explains how the club strives to accomplish that.
We have usually up to 5 different sets of tees on all the holes, which hopefully is more inviting to people to want to come out, whether they've played at a high level. We've had the PGA Tour that has come through here for several years and had their qualifying, or whether it's somebody that may be just starting out and getting to the first time at a full regulation length golf course, that we have 5 sets of tees and hopefully get them to understand that tees aren't set up for gender or age, but all the tees are set up for ability. We're wanting to be able to invite everyone out to the golf course and where they can enjoy it at whatever length they would decide they need to play it from. Anytime that you can get a person, whether it's their first time or their 50th time, that comes through and says that they really enjoyed themselves, they enjoyed the golf course, and that we were able to exceed their expectations of what that day was, that's what we're trying to do.